Concerning Tulsi Gabbard's Protect Women's Sports bill, I actually find it quite laudable. So many people are scared to speak out because as soon as someone decides to change their identity, we're supposed to come together and celebrate the transition for really no other reason than that. I have no problem calling somebody by a preferred name, preferred nickname, preferred pronoun. I have no problem with bathrooms of an identified nature. Pretty libertarian because I see no data that suggests there's any danger to anyone other than the trans person. That's not me being pro-trans. That's me being pro-data. This idea that a mediocre dude who can bulk up with testosterone his entire life, building bone density by building muscle, then starts taking estrogen, which tells the body that, hey, I'm female, I have a hard time building bone density, so I need to hold on to all I've got. Now this extra bone density is even more baked in, even if the muscles themselves are not benefiting from the endogenous testosterone any longer. Men's arms and legs are longer. Men's shoulders lend themselves to much more powerful punches. This idea that arms, shoulders, legs, and pelvis slash hips are all different, and aside from maybe curling, literally everything in the Olympics requires some matter of strength or length of arm or leg. But the argument that by neutralizing an endogenous hormone, this somehow neutralizes all of these objective truths is just beyond asinine. Frankly, I am quite tired of the reactionary left that requires me to celebrate masculine mediocrity simply because the masculinity was sloughed off with their dick. This mediocrity then puts them at competitive levels with women who have been training their entire lives. It's beyond unfair. And while life is not fair, sports are supposed to be. This is why we even have different events and different lengths of events within the same sport. Like running, sprinting and long distance is night and day different. Someone who happens to be born female and born with more traditional masculine features, brand of Tarth, are often celebrated for their Herculean feats because of their gender inequities, which it comes to skeletal frame and bone density if nothing else. Anyone crying this is transphobic is elevating trans status as this supernal status that then kids are going to want to ascend to. This will cause some unfortunate and long-term consequences for kids whose parents are trying to be open-minded and whose actions are driven by pseudo-wokeness. In some cases, kids are being allowed to consider sexual transition when they wouldn't even be trusted to pick the family dinner due to such an underdeveloped sense of appreciation of responsibility to self and thinking about thought, especially when bells cannot be unrung. Tulsi is awesome, and I fully support her. I'm a Lincoln Roosevelt Republican that bases my sense of evaluation off of the same sense of empathy that Lincoln had. If you are reacting over the top and crying outrage, do you even control your actions? I mean, if you were so easily triggered, you were easily manipulated. Grow up and learn some strength of character and thought. You think Tulsi just walked this out thinking, hey, this should be fun? She's a surfer herself. She engages in an incredibly popular competitive sport. How come we always cry out that representation matters unless that representation is in direct conflict with our confirmation bias? How come most of the outrage from the left, which has, quite frankly, most of the formal education? How is it that people who are so educated are so easily manipulated? Which prompts the question, are you even educated, bro?